Okay, let's do this last few problems here. Um, Here we have one that says in a survey of 1,250 Americans, 461 rated their health as excellent. What percent of these Americans rate their health as excellent? Round to the nearest tenth of a percent. Okay, so we're going to do this by translating. And in order to do that, I need to write out what they're really asking. So what they're really asking here is 461 is what percent of 1,250. So this is the actual question that they're asking. So we need to be able to restate the problem, and then we can start our translation. So here we have 461 means equals what percent. This is what we're going to be solving for, our unknown. Because it's a percent, that tells us we're going to have to change things over at the end. Of means multiply 1,250. Now, we want to get x alone, so instead of multiplying, we need to divide by that 1,250. So we're going to do that to both sides, which will cancel that out. So now over here on the right, we have x equals 461 divided by 1,250 would be 0.3688. Now remember, we have to change this over to a percentage because that's what we're asking for. So we really need to move this 2 places to the left, which would be 36.88%. But now we haven't finished technically, because looking back at our problem, it says to round to the nearest tenth of a percent. So a tenth of a percent means we have to go 1 decimal place, not 2. So to properly answer this question, we would need to round it off to 36.9%. That is much, much better. Okay, here we have another circle graph problem. And again, this is the same type that we were using in past sections, where they're talking about, records in a record store being sold and then the breakdown of each one. So this one says the circle graph shows music recordings sold by a music store. A music store sells 2,500 recordings in a month. How many are pop rock? Well, we can see that pop rock here is 60% of their record sales. So we need to figure out or restate what they're asking. So they're asking what is 60% of 2,500. We want to find out what is 60% of that number. So what, I don't know, is 60%, we would change to the decimal, of 2,500. Now it's just a matter of multiplying these two things together. So when we multiply 0.60 times 2,500, we get 1,500. A little more than half of the 2,500, so that is a reasonable answer. All right, last one here. This one says the Chevy Camaro was introduced in 1967. Sales that year were 220,917 Camaros, which was 46.2% of the number of Ford Mustangs sold the same year. Find the number of Mustangs sold in 1967, round to the nearest whole number. So we need, again, to translate. This is what they're asking us. 220,917 is 46.2% of what? And now we can translate. 220,917 is 0.462, because we changed that over to the decimal, of, this multiply, what? So now instead of multiplying, we can divide by 0.462 to get x all alone. So x will equal 478,175.3247. Now, because we're talking about cars, we don't want 0.3247 of a car, so we're rounding to the nearest whole number. So that would be 478,175.